Hi guys, we are here with probably the most known person on Counter-Strike world, Nix0n from HLTV.org. Mark, it's not your first time running a Counter-Strike tournament. It's a bit different from what you usually do. Tell us more about the feeling of running a tournament of this major important aspect.
Well, over the past years, going to so many tournaments all over the world, different kind of tournaments, even though I wasn't there to run a tournament, I was there and I was, watching and learning at the same time. Even though I wasn't maybe not thinking about it, I was still, paying attention to how things were done. So running a tournament came really natural for me. DreamHack has been some great friends of mine for many years now. So when they approached me and said, "Hey, is this something you would like to do?" and I was like, it's also fun to try something different every now and then. And I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's give it a go." And last year it went perfect. To be honest, there wasn't really anything that went wrong. There's normally delays in all tournaments. Same in mine. It's hard to avoid. So it's kind of natural for me. I can't really say there's been any complications in running a tournament. It's very different from what I do normally at HLTV.org, but at the same time, it's all about CS.
Running HLTV.org and being at events and dealing with all these players, you think that's your relation with those players makes it easy running these events?
To some extent, yes, because obviously, I'm friends with some of the players on the pro circuit, but also most of the players know who I am. So I've already gained their trust. They know who I am and they know what I stand for. At the same time, I have to be the bad guy every now and then. If teams just leave, if teams just aren't ready for the match to start, well, that's their problem. One of the SK games today was almost starting without Get Right because he just left. So for sure, it's a plus that I know the players already. But I think if you look at the other side, I think the players are also happy that they know who's running the tournament and they know it's just not a random guy, but someone they don't know and have trust in.
Through the years, you have attended several events. In 2012, you've got the Counter-Strike going pretty much down. You think there's something that can be done to save the game right now, or it just it ends right now?
I don't think it ends, but to be honest, we need change. I don't want to draw a parallel to StarCraft, but look how long Brood War was around before it got replaced, or it's not fully replaced yet. So you can kind of translate that into CS right now. I don't think CS is, it's going downhill for sure. We can all see it, and you would be an idiot not to admit it. But at the same time, if CSGO is what takes over, we just have to live with it. I think Valve has had all the right cards on the hands to produce a game that could replace 1.6. I don't think they fully executed the potential. I think it should have listened a lot, or not listened, but incorporated the pro players a lot more than they have. There's still a long time to August, so a lot can happen. If it's CSGO, that's just what it is. We'll have to wait and see, but you can't change the fact that 1.6 is still a strong game. Maybe tournaments are dropping it, but that's their choice. The community still shows that there is great support for this game, so I know it's going downhill, but it will have to eventually.
What will happen to HLTV.org? Will you guys move into CSGO? Will you start covering events with CSGO? Tell us.
back in the days when Source came out, we kind of had the door open to Source. Like if it was gonna, well, nobody knew back then what was Source gonna be. Was it gonna replace 1.6 in tournaments? What was gonna happen? It never really kicked in. Okay, they had this big thing called CGS, which turned out to be a clusterfuck anyway. But CS 1.6 survived the period where, you know, Source was doomed to take over. It never did. We were open to Source at that point. It's kind of the same right now. Nobody knows what's going to happen with Go and all this. So we are, you know, keeping the door open, and we are, you know, tracking what's going to happen with all these tournaments, all the communities and all that. And then when we feel that there is a need to take a decision, we'll take that decision. Right now is not the time because, you know, CSGO is not released yet, so it would be stupid to jump the gun before the game is published.
Is it HLTV.org suffering from the lack of Counter-Strike events right now, or the community still maintains the activity?
Well, I mean, of course we can always use more tournaments. We can all benefit from it. What I've been missing a lot is online leagues, just regular online stuff. There's been some here and there this year, like the Fnatic Counter-Strike League. But if we're suffering from it, I don't know, maybe a little, but it's not something we're paying attention to because we can all see what's happening in the community. Tournaments are dropping it. There's less teams because of, you know, several reasons. Some are like sponsors not wanting to invest in CS. Fucking flies. There's a lot of things, but obviously the most important is that we still love the game. So right now, I think it's important to know that we're not just going to trash 1.6 because we've been around for so long. Why would we do that?
Going back to your life, how does it feel to be always traveling, not to be, I don't know, 1 week at home, or you just need to, you go home and you need to leave, I don't know, 1 month later or 1 week later to another event. How it feels to be always traveling?
You know, a lot of my friends, they're just like, oh, fuck yeah, you get to go to all these cool places and stuff. And that's true, I get every now and then to go to some cool places and travel a lot. But what most people probably don't know is that it's a lot of hours you put into it. Most people haven't been like to tournaments like this. They don't know that the working hours are usually from 8 or 9 in the morning up until, you know, 2 a.m. or something in the evening. Traveling is a lot of fun. I enjoy it, and I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity through what I'm doing. But at times it can be very frustrating to travel that much. You know, back and forth in time zones, spending time in airports, waiting for connection flights. It's draining your powers, and you have to keep yourself going, because otherwise you'll just tear yourself down. I think you can ask anyone who's traveling a lot, like a salesperson or something, that, you know, you need to recharge every now and then. But overall, I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity, and I've enjoyed, and I'm still enjoying every moment of it.
It's known that your feelings regarding your future in terms of covering events. Do you have an exact idea what you want to do in your future? Will you retire from covering events? What will happen to HLTV.org when you are not around? Do you guys are prepared for that already?
Well, first of all, I applied for journalism school back in April. I passed the first test, and I was at an interview 3 weeks ago. If I pass that interview, I'm getting in. If not, I'm not getting in. So right now I'm kind of waiting to see what happens there, because that's gonna decide something about my future, obviously, because I won't have that much time on my hands anymore. With that said, should I get accepted, I'm not just gonna, you know, vanish. I'll still be around, and I don't want to just abandon the ship and let it sink. If I have to leave, then I will, you know, find a worthy captain to uphold my role. There's no way I'm just gonna, you know, leave and don't care. That's never going to happen.
Going back to Go, I talked with C9 a few hours ago, and he said something interesting to me, that Counter-Strike online in Asia could be the solution for the future of Counter-Strike. I don't know if you know the game, if you played, but what's your opinion about that specific game?
I know it's a lot of like 1.6. I know very little outside of that. I know something about that you can't change rates and stuff, and there's no LAN player and stuff. I'm not sure if I can agree with Senya about it being possible. Maybe they've discovered something that I haven't because they played the game. But I think if it needs to take over at some point, I think it's because the game publisher of CS Online will have to push it like really hard. If they're gonna do that, I have no idea. So I can't really comment that much on it because I don't know a whole lot about CS Online.
What about Pro Mode?
I tried Pro Mode here and there. I like it, but the problem with Pro Mod has just been that it's been taking way too long. You know, they are volunteers like so many else in this industry, and when you're volunteering and you don't really gain much except the good work you put in, things tend to go slow, and that's a result of Pro Mod. I think if they maybe had some venture capital or like something years back, I think the project would have had a real good chance. With Go, I'm having a hard time seeing it prevail. I don't think it's going to happen.
Quick question: best and worst event you ever attended?
Well, the worst event is probably an event nobody knows because that's just some shitty Danish event. But worst events ever in international, that's hard. I can start with the best. My best experience ever was ESWC 2007 in Paris. Mainly one of the reasons was that there were so many people there. It was a final with the NOA and PGS. I think it was around 5,000 or 6,000 people, and people were just going apeshit. When I still watched one of the moments from that final on YouTube, I still get goosebumps. I still get the chills down my neck. With that said, there's a lot of good tournaments out there, but that specific memory sticks out. Worst event, I'm having a hard time to think of one, but I'm sure it's some event where internet is probably not working properly, there is several hours delay, stuff like that. That stuff will just tear you down.
I know you're Danish. Best team ever for you, ever, not actual, but ever.
Best team?
I thought you were saying NOA or something like that.
Well, I came in not kind of late, but I came in late in terms of the future of CS. I didn't get to experience many of the teams before I started doing what I do. It's a tough. I mean, that's the funny thing with CS. That there's always a team that dominates 1 year out. So the best team, it's really hard for me. I like the old MTW obviously because they're Danish and stuff. But I really like those. Even before I get to know them as good as I ended up with, it's basically the reason 5 great guys who are like the best friends. The best team, I can't really say. There's been so many. In most recent times, I'd probably have to go with Navi because just the history behind it. Like they came basically out of nowhere, trashed everyone in 2010, defended their IEM title for the first time in IEM history. But at the same time, I also enjoy old school players like the Polish guys who's been around for ages and has been, so consistent throughout time. So I don't really have one favorite, as you can probably hear, but I have a lot of, good memories.
You're a journalist, you're an organizer, but I know you are also a player. You play sometimes. What was the feeling of playing with MTW on New York and eventually becoming the MVP of the tournament?
You know, it was kind of surreal because I've been standing behind them at so many tournaments, and I know them very well, some better than others. And all of a sudden, just sitting there, and you know, they were talking in TeamSpeak or something like this. It was kind of like, what the fuck is going on? But at the same time, it was a very fun experience. It's definitely something I would like remember for sure. Yeah, overall it was a great experience. It was super fun, and I guess I played surprising even to myself. But yeah, overall it was a very nice experience.
Any final words?
Ooh, I think that's the first time I've been asked that, but
Have fun.
I guess everyone who's been a part of HLTV.org throughout the days when I've been around, I can't really start naming people. Obviously, the community who's still supporting this game. Just basically anyone who loves 1.6. That's why we're here.
So guys, you heard it from the man. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in, and keep watching our videos and keep in touch. See ya.